100 times. And the reason I never stopped there was simple. There's never any people in there. And I was like, okay, well, um, normally if a restaurant is good, it has people in it eating, right? And I'll tell you this much, these are the biggest limes I've ever gotten in any Mexican restaurant. Look at the size of those. Jesus Christ, they're huge. These lime slices are as big as lemon slices. I also got a green chili, and I asked the trying to be super authentically Mexican woman that was working there if I should try the super hot sauce, and I told her I was going to be eating the burrito in the park, where, as you can see, if I gotta go, it's gonna be in the lake. I'm not going to crap my pants ever again. So I got this burrito, which that's a $15 burrito. That's not $15. This burrito is the size of my hand. This is how long it is. That's not very big. So we're gonna try it. As with most Mexicans, we like eating strange things for some reason. Throughout my entire childhood, we ate a lot of the organ meats, right? So this is what you would call tripe. And tripe's just a nice word for saying organ meat. Organ meat. The bag doesn't even have a company logo on it. It just says, thank you. That's how generic this restaurant is. So I would say that this burrito is the size of a regular hot dog, yet it was $15. So I saw it on the website. I was looking around, so I wanted to try someplace new, right? Because let's just face it, you can't eat at Chipotle anymore. It's the last day of the year. It's my last chance to do a live, which hopefully doesn't get demonetized again. Last night when I looked and I saw all my demonetized live streams, I flipped out, man. The gas, the time, the effort, the gas, the time that it takes to make a live stream, and then for it to not get any money. Like, it cost me money to make the live streams. And so, as you guys well know, it's not good business to not do business. So here's our first bite of our tripe burrito. So why did I feel like tripe? Normally I would go to Taco Boys for something like this, but this restaurant was right next to the Goodwill at Guadalupe and Rural, which is a place that I go to quite often, to that Goodwill. And again, like I said, I never went in this Mexican food restaurant because there's never anyone in there, which is always a bad sign. That place is going out of business. It looks like it just opened, but it doesn't look like it's gonna stay long. Tripe burrito. You guys ever eaten tripe before? It's an acquired taste. No pro beer in the park. You're not allowed to drink in the park, man. Only people who take advantage of that are the homeless, but there is no alcohol in the park without a permit. So I think they want you to be, when you make things like purposely pointed like that, in order to drink alcohol in the park, you have to have a permit. What is that telling you? Who do they not want drinking in the park if you need a permit to do something? Da, da, da. I drank plenty of beer last night. Still got little stars in my eyeballs from drinking beer. Zombie. What's up, people? There are new people on the stream. This burrito's got the nasty. This burrito has the Hershey squirts written all over it. You can get drunk and go to jail if you drink too much. it wasn't downstairs that well. Holy crap. Oh, help my shoulder hurt from shoulder workouts. I just did a shoulder workout yesterday. Back shoulders, front shoulders. So I did cable lateral raises. Reverse back to deck. Got to top it off with the machine front shoulder press. Go to shoulder workout every time. Happy New Year, Happy New Year stream. It's true. I'm living by that. By the way, I love the lake. How it felt somebody gifted you red 500. What is that? 500 lashings? I don't want 500 lashings. So far, I'm indifferent to this burrito. How would you feel if somebody gifted you red $500? I don't need the money, so he means 500 on red in the casino. Oh, I don't care. I don't gamble. I got paid on Friday. I got paid by YouTube on Thursday, Friday, some point. I'm good. Rent to do tomorrow. Let's see. Gambling is a rich man's sport. And playing the lotto is a poor man's idiocy. Well said, Internet Complaint Department. I loved your video or your comment on financing life. I turned it into an entire video today. It was such a great comment. I agree with everything you said in that comment. I wanted to stay more on focus, but it's hard to stay focused when you're drunk still in the morning. So, and I haven't been able to move since I woke up. This is like the first thing that I've done. Yeah. Aztec, I'm smoking natural American spirits, black and Winston Gold hundreds, but tomorrow I'm going to try to quit and try to start reading my Bible and helping the proles. The proles need a lot of help right now, man. Let's see, caught MillennialSteam live. Wow. I'm live every day at this hour. See what day is tomorrow tomorrow's Wednesday. I'll be live tomorrow. I'm back to work finally. Thursday, Friday. Unless I get sick again. Wink, wink. Are you still friends with Mello? She was just on here yesterday. Mel was busy. I was always busy. As for doing anything with Mel, nah. I knew once she got her video games for her birthday, I knew that she'd become addicted to it. Sup, dog? Hey, Donald Trump. Say, Donald Trump, how do you feel about President Musk? How do you feel about rumors that he's really controlling them? Mello's a very, very, very reserved person. I was at her old job yesterday at Sprouts. Now, very reserved people. I haven't seen her in like a month, I think. Also, she works in retail. So, how many new billionaires in the past 4 years? President's my job. Let's see. Um, I don't know how many millionaires. Probably not that many billionaires because if you want to become a billionaire, you've got to take money from someone, and most of the billionaires have the proletariat locked in. And so it's hard to find new niches for money. No need to vote in 4 years or ever. Oh, I can't stand animals or babies. Oh, I hate them. Anything that craps itself, anything that pees or poops, I'm not interested in, man. Not even a fish. This is a bland ass, a very bland tripe burrito slash hot dog sized burrito. I love how everything's gotten smaller. Get a wiener dog. Laugh out loud. I don't need anything to make me feel even more insecure about my manhood. Yet wiener dog would be a constant reflection on my own inadequacies. Let's see. The roaches are enough. Laugh out loud. Well, like I told you guys yesterday, my apartment complex is moving me February 1st to a nice new unit, hopefully roach-free. You have no choice but to be interested in them cockroaches, though, huh? No. Now, like I said, the leasing office decided since they can't get rid of my roaches, they're going to move me. Eat much Vienna sausages? I did a few years ago, and then, like, I don't have anything against them. And they probably taste better than any packaged meat that I've bought in the last. Ugh. La cucaracha. It's such a popular dance in Mexico. A cucaracha dance. Mm-hmm. Every time I see somebody cruising around on one of those electric bikes, it makes me want one. Now I think about what would I do with it, really? I'm going to show you guys the last bite. This is what tripe burrito looks like when it's the size of a hot dog. This is like the last 20% of it. My stomach was concerned about whether or not I should get the super, super hot sauce or should just get the mildly hot sauce, but I'm only 5 minutes away from my house. So I won't be crapping my pants this Christmas. Excuse me, I crapped my pants at this very park last year when I ate fast food Mexican, and it was a terrible time. Menudo. Ugh, stomach lining. Mexicans eat some weird stuff, man. You guys remember that episode of the Boondocks? It was called The Itis, where they open up a Southern style restaurant and it serves nothing but super bad food, and then afterwards they go to sleep. I saw a bumper sticker yesterday at Kroger's of a band that I haven't heard about in a long time. Like, I think it was Blink 182. Is that what it was? Something like that. Some old 90s band. Oh yeah. Man, it is not hard to hide what you do for recreation from people. I mean, that was the biggest mess addict that I've seen in a long time. I used to have a coworker at the university who'd always ask me, "MillennialSteam, why are those people always riding around on mini bikes?" By mini bikes, she meant BMX bike. Why are those guys always riding around on BMX bikes? And I told her, and this is what I saw, this is the evidence that I have. These people who ride around on 26-inch wheels, BMX bikes, ride around them because they're very easy to fix. They don't have any gears, and the tires and tubes are extremely cheap. The cheapest, excuse me, they're not 26, they're 20-inch tires. Sorry, I confused BMX with mountain bike. 20-inch tires on BMX bikes, right? A mountain bike has gears, it has shifters, it has disc brakes. BMX bikes are super, super easy to fix. That's the only reason why the mess addicts love them so much. Haley, but I don't like you. Great. You have acquired 20 years of doom experience. Yeah. I mean, when you go to every job interview and it's the same thing, MTB bikes cost more than a new 2024 Corolla. No joke. Check out some of the specialized bikes. Yeah, my Trek Fuel, it's expensive. The new model of the Trek Fuel that I currently own was a whopping $8,000 for a mountain bike. I got sticker shock when I was there. $8,000 if I want a new version of my current bike. Putting new tires on my mountain bike cost me $300 for tires. I mean, I bought it during the pandemic with pandemic money. You know, during the pandemic with federal unemployment benefits, it was about $800 a week. So I just put it on layaway, and I paid for it over the course of a year or so. Payment here and there, and soon it was mine. Nah, I had to put it on layaway. There's no way I could afford the price tag on it, and it was on sale too. At the time when I bought it in 2020, I think, the 2020 or 2021. It was on sale because it was the previous year model, so that was damn expensive, man. I'll tell you what's the fanciest bike I've ever owned. My mountain bike has a better ride than my car. The suspension on that mountain bike is like butter. Straight butter, man. It's like smooth, it goes up and down. It's like, I've never experienced such an amazing ride on anything in my life. And there were two things I never thought that I would own during the pandemic that I managed to buy during the pandemic, right? Only because of the pandemic. My Sony A7, plus professional lenses were something I bought from Amazon again. I made payments on those lenses for like a year. They were super expensive. Like, you buy the body of the camera was like $2,000 for just the camera, the body, and then the lenses were $1,500 a pop. The Sony G Master lenses, whew, that's a spicy meatball. Great pictures though. You're talking about adult industry quality pictures. It costs as much as my 2011 Ford F-150. MS bike. Oh, is any vehicle? Yeah, yeah. It's expensive. Mountain bikes are very, very, very expensive. I mean, just the rack on the back of my car costs $800 to so that I can scoot it around to the mountain. And lease better be approach. Huh? I don't know what that means. Yeah, Aztec, I don't get it. You started out living on your own at 16 and dropped out of school. It wasn't like planned. My mom sold the house, so I didn't really have anywhere to go. Aiden got out of the homeless of your own place and you're but no wife. I thought women want real men. I'm not exactly a man's a man. I have a lot of very girly traits, like a lot of girly traits. So a lot of women don't like men. It's something that Mello brings up with me all the time. Whenever I see Mello, she'll just look at my legs and it's like, your legs are so smooth and they're so muscular and you have pretty feet. You know, as she said, you're the most high maintenance man I've ever met. And that makes a lot of women very uncomfortable. Very uncomfortable. Happy New Year, MillennialSteam. What are some of your New Year's goals? My only New Year's goal is to get bigger and bigger on YouTube so this can be my full-time job. Corrected. Approachmatic. Oh, I didn't know that word before. I didn't even know that was a word. What's this year going to bring us? This year, again, I was watching The Epic Economist, but you don't need to watch The Epic Economist to know that when people who make $100,000, $100,000 and $200,000 salaries are now shopping at Aldi's, you know what hits the fan. Like when rich people have to stop shopping at rich people's stores because they can't afford it anymore, that's when you know that there's a change in society. So there are a lot of big, ugly changes coming to our world in about 20 days. I'm hoping that the people around our Cheeto in chief are able to restrain him from doing things that are going to hurt poor people. But if he's shown one thing, is it's a dislike for poor people, and especially of people of color. So he's not a person that holds back on his feelings. I would say that he has a lot in common with Musk in the sense that they have a lot of children because they have a lot of money. Otherwise, can you imagine meeting someone like Musk or Trump behind a Taco Bell? Dude, you'd run away. Nervousness, anxiety, fear. That's the new feelings. That's what we're all feeling all of the time now. I have been beginning to see a lot of fog in the month Dakota and other places that people are reporting. Plus, a lot of drone sightings too. Some towns are actually preparing in America right now for mass unemployment. And when you have mass unemployment, you have mass homelessness. So there are places in this world near you right now that are preparing for what I would call a natural disaster in society, because when there aren't enough jobs, you have people who are going to hit the streets. I mean, I passed 5 cars of people living out here. You know, I could walk right over this hill. There's a van right there where someone's living in their car. Homelessness isn't far away from us ever. In fact, at any given moment, you can be 100 yards from a homeless person. Hell, sometimes I'm just 20 yards from a homeless person because they will break into apartments around you, or they'll sleep in the laundry facilities. They will sleep, they'll sneak into any place and sleep. And so they are very, very close to us. Never saw how I could ever make ends meet in a big city. I'll tell you this, a lot of people right now, including myself, we were hitting those credit cards really hard in the past year, and those credit cards are now maxed out. And I saw another report this morning from the credit card companies that they are seeing record default on those credit cards because we don't have money to pay. The reason we racked up the credit card debt is because we didn't have enough money to live. So you started putting things like groceries on credit cards, and eventually they max out. The only thing that will make you a YouTube channel more authentic is a selfie profile. It's hilarious. That's not gonna happen. I have too many dirty corporate secrets that I plan to talk about, and it would not be, let's put it this way, I could be found sleeping in my house and with natural causes written all over it. You don't mess with the corporations, man. Every whistleblower in America comes to terrible, sleepy end when they go against the corporate giants. It's brainless to choose big cities until they're giving big CTC. That's a hose. Hey, that was randomly generated by YouTube. I never looked at it that way, Aztec. Thank you for pointing that out. Come on, MS, you got this. You can draw a cartoon character of yourself dramatically. I'll ask ChatGPT to make a character of myself. Wondering how many debtors have paid way more than principal, still owe more than principal. Ask anyone who is paying on student loans. I have a person that I used to talk to. She's paid $17,000 in interest on her student loans and paid $5,000 on the principal. Jesus Christ. Holy moly. Yeah, my car is going to cost me about $8,000 of interest when I'm done paying it off in 2 years. So I got a super high interest rate on it. You know, sign and drive, as someone wrote in the comments, unless you got the corporate feds on your on your FR. Have them pay the principal first to control the interest payment. Well, I don't, this person's going back to school, so hopefully they put those loans on hold until she gets out of school when she's 40. Going fishing? I forgot to bring my fish. I wasn't planning on coming here. I was planning on going to the restaurant, picking up my trike burrito, and then going straight home and then live streaming from my computer. But then I saw how nice of a day it is, and I have to go back to work in a couple days. I've been off from work since December 18th, and I have to go back on January 2nd or 3rd. I forget. I have to look at my calendar. It's an older version, an older vehicle. Older vehicles tend to be more reliable than junk mobile computers with wheels. Yeah. Make a fishing rod. I have plenty of fishing rods at home. I wasn't planning on coming here. I was just planning on picking up my burrito and then going straight home. And then suddenly I got the urge to spend $3 on a Coke. $3 is what a fast food Coke costs these days. Sad when people make bad decisions. Single moms. Happy New Year's of wage slavery. Why, thank you. Use a piece of burrito as bait. All the bait's inside of my stomach now, and I'm wondering how long it's gonna stay in there. It's sitting real heavy, that tripe, those organ meat. Let's see. They make a ton of money off what we in the Midwest call pop. Oh, there she is. Happy New Year's, MS. Damn. Mellow. I think the stream Aztec was just asking where you were at, and I'm like, Mello works in retail. she she works a lot. And so she works like, you know, odd retail hours. I mean, 5 in the morning until whenever she's done, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Doesn't have a whole lot of free time. So yeah, I'm sitting in my car right now, milking the clock. I'm pretty much done with my work, but I want to get my hours in. See what I mean, guys? America. Milking the clock. American style. Oh my God. Well, I tried a new Mexican food place today, and it's not nearly as good as Nazo Taco. Oh Lord, I can't say that out loud. I saw. Where was I yesterday? I was looking through the available drinks. Oh, that's where I was. I was at Culver's yesterday, and they had that drink on tap. I hadn't seen that drink in a long time. It just depends on my day. Every day is different. Some days are really slow and get done really early. Some are working 12 to 14 hours. See, that's the weird part about working in retail. It's like I work an 8 to 5 schedule every day. I work in corporate America. So my schedule is always going to be 8 until I feel like leaving. Or I feel like my boss is watching the security cameras. I'm taking, let's see, a mini vacation for the next 2 days and then head to work next year. Yeah, I've been on vacation since December 18th. Not looking forward to going back to the office. Have you tried some burros? I did. I've eaten there a few times. I didn't like it. I ate at this place called Traditional Mexican Food. When you walk into a restaurant and there's no one there at lunchtime, you better just like walk backwards and leave. So a lot of yoga pants in the park again today. It seems to be the uniform of choice. Oh my God. Like I mentioned in one of my earlier videos yesterday when I was at Culver's, man, the cashier was ready for retirement, but retirement was not ready for her. Yep. You guys say dog, and then the dog walks right in front of the screen. He's looking at the camera now. Did you see that? That dog heard you guys say dog, and then, bam, he just stopped and looked right at the camera. There's this older lady over here with this tiny little dog. I don't know what she's doing. I think she said, I can't see because she's around the pillar. Walk of the dog, some call it. Walking the dog. Is that what we call it now? Jesus. Hey, for the person who left me the comment that Survival Lily was on Naked and Afraid, good call. I didn't know that she was on like regular television, but she is a very, very wealthy woman now. Survival Lily, she hit the algorithm just right, semi-attractive 30-year-old woman in the woods. Bam, that's insta cash, man. I need a manicure. I don't know what happened to my nails, but they have little dents in them. Like, I'm gonna have to go to that lady in front of Walmart again and see if this was caused by them by those gel thingies, because it looks weird. It's like a dark spot in the middle of my nail. I don't know what's going on there. Hmm. Let's see. I need TND. What is TND? Is that involved like an Asian place or? Aztec. I get the full thing. You get hydrofacials and you get Botox and you get, you know, special massages. I mean, I pamper myself a lot. Oh. that awkward moment where you look at the person walking in front of you and then you look at them. It's like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm just on YouTube. That's all. Why are you all not clicking on the like button? We gotta beat that algorithm and spread his word like like dandelions. Well, I was gonna say you could have spread the word. Like, oh God, oh my mind in the gutter. I can already feel my video getting demonetized. Also, the video that's going up that members are seeing up on the channel right now, um, it whatchamacallit. I was going to talk about um, the high cost of fast food because this burrito I bought was $19 with the soda, and that was definitely a $5 burrito. So, damn, things are expensive, man. I wonder how, I keep asking myself this question: how are poor people still alive? How are you people out there who are making sub $20 an hour jobs? How do you survive? Like, it just must be one long, miserable day. Like, I consider work to be Monday doesn't end for me till Friday at 5 p.m. That's how I know it's not Monday anymore. But damn, even me having to work 2 days this week, not looking forward to it. Like, it crushed my creativity yesterday just to go into work for a few minutes. Let's see, and be a member. It'll help become a benevolent landlord. A benevolent. At least we were going with benevolent. I would have gone with sadistic landlord. Or not even landlord, I would have gone with slumlord. Because even slumlords have to pay the rent. That was actually a comment that I just replied to a few minutes ago. I was sitting in the lobby waiting for my burrito to get done when I got that comment. Slumlords have bills. And you're like, slumlords. Let's start up a GoFundMe for the sadistic slumlord that's always offering you to free rent. I actually just saw that video on the hub. You're like, this girl's like, oh, I'm short on the rent. And you're like, every slumlord in America has seen it before. It's like, oh, I'm low on rent this month. Is there anything I can do? I've even had girls say that to me. It's like, hey, I want this, the last time this happened to me, hey, I'd like to get these earrings. Is there anything I can do to get these earrings? Like, really? That question, is there anything I can do to get this video game or what was it? Oh, I need concert tickets. Well, guess what? It's never going to be anything different. It's like, can you draw me a picture of something and I'll just pay you to draw me a picture? It never works out that way. Never. It's like saying, It's like asking a rhetorical question. It's like, oh, well, what can I do? And I'm like, well, I, you know, we both understand what the question is. Like, what can I do to get this? And you're like, I don't know why girls think it's ever going to be a different answer. Like, I, you know, I, I've gotten to the point with that question that I just don't even bother to answer it. It's just like, oh, for me, I still have my same lifestyle. The only thing that happened was the price increased, but I started buying in bulk. So, in some ways, food has gotten a bit cheaper and I don't eat every day. Well, I had never really been to Aldi's. Pig taco is even more expensive than the burrito. Well, and it doesn't have to be. That's another thing is that with corporate profits being so high, and this is actually what Aldi's, the grocery store, said is that we don't need to price gouge our customers. As long as we offer low prices, we can make enough money to stay profitable. Because even Aldi's knows, and I didn't know this, but Aldi's is only 1% of the grocery store money that was made last year. Aldi's only got 1%. Walmart by itself got 25% of the share of the grocery business. That's a lot of money to rake in. That's why Walmart is the largest retailer in America. I think the last year that I worked there, they made, was it $500 billion in profits in America, worldwide profit, excuse me. And I was like, you make $500 billion in 1 year and then still claim that you have razor thin profit margins. You're still cheapskating every company you can. And yet you're scheming and you're doing all of these crooked things in order to make all this money for your shareholders. I find it alarming to think about how much scamming there goes on, legal scamming against poor people who don't have much of a choice. We can't get out of the way of these corporations. Like if I didn't want to pay the electric company for the bill, I can't just make my own power. Same thing with food. I don't like shopping at Kroger or Walmart, any grocery store. But do you have a choice? Aldi's pays their workers somewhat decent wages too. I always shop at Aldi's. Let's see, fun fact, Trader Joe's is also Aldi's, but it's Aldi's Nord. Aldi's is Aldi's Sud. What does that even mean? Is Aldi's, is it Middle Eastern? I thought it was German. Walmart has a lot of monopoly power if you want to sell to them. Yeah, they do have a lot of monopoly power. You think about what Walmart has a monopoly on. Electronics, locked in, man. When you think about buying a big TV, you don't think about going to Best Buy. You think about going to Walmart. In fact, I can't think of any reason why any person would ever shop in a Best Buy. Like, I have no idea. Aldi's is German, Nord is north, and Sud is south. Oh, okay. For some reason, I just thought Nordstrom. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that just means North Storm. North Storm. Oh my God, you wouldn't believe that I have a minor in German, right? I just failed. This is, doesn't Sud mean south in Spanish? Uh, hmm. It's, uh, I mean, yes. I'm trying to think of the pronunciation. Uh, for some reason, I have like norte in my head, but sur. Sur. I think that's it. Oh no, it's Sur. Yeah. I was thinking of Big Sur, and I was like, Sur. Oeste y oeste. Oh, good lord. Yeah, it's North Beach. Storm is in Sweden for beach. Oh, okay. Let's see. Uh, well, I don't know. What does that word mean? Sorry, no glasses on. El Coloso del Norte. Oh, I'd say I made a mistake. Aldi's is Aldi Nord. Doesn't. Please don't fire me. I didn't know that. So, because when you walk into an Aldi's and you walk into a Trader Joe's, I don't shop. Typically, I don't shop at either one of those stores. So I think I've been in a Trader Joe's twice, and I've been in a Aldi's twice. Once when it originally opened, because I was very curious as to what it looked like. Because the people, when I worked at Walmart, they were talking about building that Aldi's, which is right across the street from the Sprouts where Mello used to work. And um, so Walmart was very, very afraid of that store opening up and just killing its business. But it took it years after it went out of business before it even showed up. Uh, Albrecht discount. Hmm. Discord. Huh. I know that word. I just don't. It bothers me when I can't remember things. But I've been out of school for 7 years, so I haven't popped open a textbook in 7 years after spending the first 20 years in textbooks every day. And I haven't felt much like I didn't feel like textbook learning prepared me to do anything either. So I don't associate any value with textbook learning whatsoever. Like all the hundreds, if not thousands of hours I've spent reading textbooks never helped me do anything in real life. Yeah, I've been out of school for 42 years now. Wow. Why are Gen Z so lazy? Why are Gen Z so lazy? Well, I think Gen Z is one of the first generations that hasn't had like a paper route or hasn't really experienced any sort of, how do I put this? Gen Z is a generation, they're the video game technology, they're the digital nomads, right? As they're called. And then they come into the workplace and you find out they're very good at playing Fortnite, but when it comes to useful skills like Excel or Microsoft Word or database or any of these skills, they don't have any skills. Their writing skills are absolutely abominable because Gen Z grew up text messaging. We all know how much you need grammar in text messaging, right? It's the equivalent of brain rot is text messaging people. And so, and I read these papers in college. Some people, even at the college level, still write like they text message. And you're just like, okay, so you can't write. You didn't read much. Your math skills are okay. Your interpersonal skills are no good. You have no soft skills. You have no work ethic, right? They want to come in, work the hours they want, dress the way they want, big loose clothing, and they have no respect for any sort of authority figure. So you're kind of just left wondering. It's like what can we use to? Gen Z is full is entitled, a little entitled. Well, I've been experiencing Gen Z workers now for over 3 years, and all of them are not prepared to be adults, right? They're what they call the chill adults, right? They're people who look like adults on paper, they're adults, but when it comes to their overall skill set and ability to function within society, I mean, I've had, people that I know who've shown up with their parents at job interviews. Like, if you can't go to a job interview by yourself and you're 21 years old or you're even older than that. I mean, I know girls who are 25 and they still talk to their moms every single day like they're children. And of course, they come into the workplace and they're still children. And they get offended really easy as well. You can't easily correct a Gen Z, even when they're doing things wrong. Like with my Gen Z, I have to, like, I look, he's been working for me for about 3 months and he still asks me the same questions every single day. It's like, how do I do this? And you just look at him like, your job's not that hard, man. Just put the fries in the bag, little bro. And they just can't do it. And of course, they're really upset that they're making what they're making. And they want to be making more money. But how do you pay someone when you basically have to be watching over them the whole time? Gen Z needs babysitters, not bosses or handlers or something. It's just, I've never seen, and again, I've never been a manager before, ever. I've never had any sort of managerial role in my entire life. Now that I manage an entire department by myself, it's a strange kind of responsibility because everything when you manage an area is your fault. When the executive team calls me to chit chat, right? They're like, MillennialSteam, why is this like this? Where's this? Why didn't you do this? Where were you instead of doing this? Like, when I went into work yesterday morning, I saw an email from my boss, and it's like, we're moving an entire office building to another building. Somehow I am the manager of my own area, but I have to coordinate the move. I've had to coordinate the move of my office space 4 times in 1 year. That's a lot of responsibility for one person. At the same time, I have to be the babysitter of a Gen Z. And it's hard because you leave them alone for 1 day and then you come back and you ask them, well, why did you do this? They're like, I don't know. I didn't know. And unfortunately for my Gen Z, there's no one else in the company that does my job. So it's not like he can call the guy next to me and be like, hey, how do I do this? They're not going to know. I'm a millennial, and when I was 18, I had 2 jobs, was in college and had my own apartment away from my parents. These kids, some of these kids are in their late 20s. They've never moved out. They still ask their parents for money on a regular basis. This is a phone call I hear in my office. Every time the rent's due, it's like, hey, Dad, how's it going? By the way, I didn't make enough money to cover rent. Can you send me some money? And every month it's that phone call. Every month like clockwork. Because again, my Gen Zs make about $2,000 a month, right? They can't live off $2,000 a month. That means that they either have to live at home or they have to live at home. And a lot of them, they want the freedom of being adults without the responsibility. So they want an adult-sized paycheck, but with no responsibility. And it's really difficult because I could never see myself promoting a Gen Z to anything. In fact, I could see myself going in the opposite direction. I could see myself demoting any Gen Z that I had, just based on the same criteria. When they get bored of work, they just shut down. Literally, they shut down. A couple of Gen Zs ago, I had a guy that when he got bored at work, he just went to sleep. And I'm like, okay, well, um, it worked out for him. Let's see, I remember when I had my own apartment, it felt like a luxury apartment and it was a studio. I was transitioning to a minimalist lifestyle. Well, I've been in my studio apartment since I was in college. February 1st of this coming month, I'm moving over to a larger apartment for the first time in my entire life. I'm actually going to have my own front door and um, my own bedroom door. I'm going to be able to get some furniture, and I feel weird about it. I definitely feels like a step, and I mean all because of the roaches, right? MS, have you looked into tiny homes or converted a van into homes? I would never live in a van, and living in a tiny home to me is a cop out to an economy that's hell bent on making people extremely poor. I think that rather than accepting less as the proletariat, we need to demand more. Accepting less to me is not a solution. It's like if they were going to cut your wages tomorrow and they're like, by the way, we know you're working, you're pretty reliable at work, but we can't afford to pay you what you're currently making. Would you take minimum wage? Well, if they did that to me, I'd have to take the minimum wage job until I could find another job. And in this economy, good luck finding that other job. I know people currently who have been looking for work for over 6 months and cannot find a job to save their lives. Let's see. I looked at the price of my old studio and the price almost doubled, but still affordable. It was $650 a month. The studio apartments right now, my apartment complex, with a washer and dryer are going for $1,550, and that doesn't include utilities or any of the other costs. So at the end of the month, you're paying roughly $1,800 for the studio. So it's a lot of money, man, especially in a rundown place like this. Like my apartment complex is, I think, between 50 and 60 years old. There are no modern amenities in these apartments whatsoever. Everything about it feels old and run down. I actually was wondering if it was going to be haunted because there's been a lot of uh, Jesus, that's loud. I've always been very curious what they're doing back there that makes those terrible noises. It's like sounds like a giant metal recycling machine or something. MS, can you tell which companies lie about that can't pay you more versus companies literally can't pay you more than they offer? If a company can't pay you a living wage, does it deserve to be a company? Because at that point, it becomes a plantation, right? If a company can't afford employees, and it can't afford to be a company, unless we're going to bring back plantation style labor, every company should be required to pay enough so that workers can have the basics: food, rent, a woman thrown into your cage every once in a while, right? Just like the original Conan movie, where Conan is chained up in that room, or he's in a dungeon and they just throw the slave girl in there with him, and you don't know what happens as a kid, but you know something's happening because they threw that really hot slave girl in his cage. Oh man. I probably dated myself by talking about the first Conan movie, but I remember being a kid and thinking, what's going on? And your parents are like looking at you like, are they really showing this on TV? The stuff that they get away with showing on TV lately, Oh my goodness gracious. But then again, there's no surprises anymore. Like I was watching this what was I was looking at something the other day and I was just like, we live in a world where they have reality TV shows like that survival show, the Naked and Afraid survival show. That there's so many shows now that are so different from what we grew up with watching in the 80s and early 90s. Let's say they all can pay more. Just look at the size of the house the owner lives in and 4 times a year vacations. Absolutely true. Crickety cricket. Absolutely true. 4 times a year is not an exaggeration. The executives at my corporation get 3 months of vacation every year. And they're all driving luxury vehicles. When the executives are there, that's when you see all the Porsches and super fancy cars that are there. When just the regular employees are there, just the people there doing the instruction, doing the low level work, it's all 20-year-old Hondas and Toyotas and newer Kias. I mean, almost every employee that I have had so far at this company drives a rundown Kia. My Gen Z people I work with are the least productive, but want to be paid the most. Oh my God, do they always want to be paid more? Always, always, always want to get paid more. And then when it comes to, responsibility or productivity or anything like that, they're nowhere to be found. Like once you really need them, like every time that I need my Gen Z, he's in the bathroom. I don't know what he's doing in the bathroom, but I'll leave that to your imagination. It's 8:10 in the morning every day since I started working there. 8:10 in the morning vanishes from 8:10 to 8:30, 8:45. When I ask him where he's been, he's like, "Oh, I've been in the bathroom." The dude spends more time in the bathroom than is humanly possible. And you're like, why are you in the bathroom so much? And you can't ask people that question, right? You're not allowed to ask people because it's a HR violation. Why are you in the bathroom so much? And you kind of just like, okay. Or before I started working at Walmart, they had a girl that was working there. Ended up firing her, right? Because she was always in the bathroom. She'd be working a register and suddenly she'd just disappear. And where is she? Oh, she's in the bathroom again. For 18 bucks an hour, would you want to work hard either? Well, unfortunately, they call work work, right? And regardless of what they pay you, even if they didn't pay you at all, if it was called work, you would still have to work. It's just the way it goes. If they don't want to pay you anything, to me, $18 is straight up. Straight up, you know what? It is a doo-doo pay. MS, can you explain to me what executives do all day? I see them sitting in there in the office doing pay work, really doing nothing to justify their high pay. Okay, so I have a bunch of them at this office, right? A bunch of them. They're stacked up on one side of the building. I didn't know what they did for a long time. I had no idea what they did. In fact, my office was in the same building. I didn't even know who they were. I came in and they'd be sitting over there and they're the first people to ask for help, right? When it comes to technology, the executives are the first people to say, this isn't working. I need it fixed right now. Right now. And you gotta, like the last time this happened to me, one of the toner cartridges went out, right? And they needed a cartridge right now because they needed to do something that was so important. It had to be done right at this second. And I'm like, calm the beep down, man. And they're like, no, 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 no. They got to have it done right now. Um, so they're just like executives are just like giant children. They need it now and they want it now. It's my money and I want it now. So what executives do is they kind of control the direction of the company. That's what they do. So whether it's a chief operations officer, chief financial officer, chief marketing officer, chief executive, they're all controlling their areas, making certain that the company is as profitable as humanly as it can possibly be for the shareholders. That's what they do. Marco, I'd say I do miss the 90s. I have listened to 90s music shows and movies. I wish that I had had better parents. I wish that I had been my own parent. If I had been my own parent, I would make certain that my child went to an Ivy League school, had the best tutors that money could buy, and damn certain I would make that person go to school. My parents letting me drop out of school after elementary school goes to show how pathetic parents they really were. I would never allow my child to go without schooling for 4 years. Work is called work because it's compensated. Work isn't volunteering. If they can't pay, they should announce that they need volunteers. Isn't that what unpaid interns are? Wondering the same about my own leadership. They seemingly don't work and make way more than I do. That's what the executives do. They are working on the books. They're working on saving money. They're working on cutting costs. When my company changed its management 2 months ago, the first thing they wanted to do is go through every line item on their Excel spreadsheet. That means every human being had to be evaluated to see where the cost savings could come from, and they just started slashing names, slashing and slashing and slashing. 200 people gone, boom, they don't care. Let's see, I'm at work now, working, pushing that soda around. Happy New Year. Thanks, Marco. Bro, some executive jobs are BS jobs. Well, think about it. A fry cook at McDonald's has purpose. An executive officer is eliminating people, eliminating costs, looking for ways in order to grow the business, right? They're the people who make certain that corporate profits stay at record levels, because as you guys heard me in that video that I made about the GE CEO, that if you can't stay number one or number two in your industry, you shut down the business and go start a new business. And when you shut down an entire business, you're destroying thousands of jobs. But those people don't matter, because the executive officers are going to stay extremely wealthy. Most of them don't even have to work. Most of them are already so wealthy that they don't have to work. They don't worry about losing their jobs. When they leave with plenty of stock options. They leave with incredible high salaries that they had in those jobs. They don't run out of money like you and me. They don't have to spend Christmas broke. They're not like us in any way. In a lot of ways, they're not human. Because being human is to suffer, and executives don't suffer at all. Maybe working their way up from like a bottom level, those people that was like, oh, I started out in the mail room and this and that. But once you get to a certain point, the severances are insane with Fortune 500 companies. I saw a guy when I was working at Allied Waste walk out of there after the company got sold out with $13 million. He went around shaking the hand of every person that worked in the building. He cashed out, man. Leaving a company with $13 million No joke, man. We're lucky to leave a company with negative $13 in our pants. Man, MS, is there a point when a company can't grow anymore? For example, McDonald's having that issue right now. They can only increase to price to try to increase prices for shareholders. Well, that's the problem with fast food right now. Fast food is a dying industry. It knows it's dying, just like universities. And this isn't something new that I've said. Universities, community colleges, most people have caught on that these places are scams. And so when people realize that that you're going down, you're going to try to take as much money as you can before you go down. That's why they've restructured the insides of a lot of fast food places to automate as much as they can out of them. So, let's see, McDonald's is a real estate company, so I'm not worried. You know, it doesn't matter. You know, the people that matter at McDonald's, if McDonald's goes under, those people don't care. That's the great thing about being a rich person is you're not invested in the company. You either make record profits or you close the company and you go do something else. That's what rich people do. The disease of greed has no bounds. They can never be rich enough. They can never hurt enough. They can never bleed this country dry of its minimum wage workers. They can never stop inflicting pain on society in seeking profits. They're like that deranged treasure hunter, right? They can never stop looking. They get that disease, that itis inside of their heads, that more money at the cost of society. And you can't get that. Once you have that disease, the only thing they can do is put you down. And unfortunately, we know what happens when people try to put down a rabid dog, right? I'm not going to mention any names because they'll probably get this video demonetized, but you guys know Winky put the diseased person out of their misery because they will not stop harming society. The rich are a menace to society. Inflation is ridiculous. When I made my first $1,000 check for a week, work check in 2008, it was a lot, but in 2024, it's nothing. That's what I've been saying on this channel for the last 20 years is when I started working in tech and the people above me were making what I currently make. Those dudes were living large, man. They $50,000 a year in the year 2000. Damn, you were a baller, man. 50 grand and in the year 2000, I used to just like look at that number I was working for the university and the head of my department, right? I was working for the liberal arts college and the head of the department left one of his paychecks out. Not sure why he would leave a paycheck out, but this was the year 2000, right? And his paycheck was $8,000. In 2000, $8,000 paycheck I got to see. Can you imagine what that paycheck would look like today? That would easily be a $10,000 to $20,000 paycheck. Because these guys make that much. Like the heads of departments, they make a lot of money, man. The robot sidekick. Yeah, actually, did you hear that Elon Musk is actually renting a $2,000 a night bungalow from Trump just to spend more time with him at Mar-a-Lago? Elon wants to purchase McDonald's. Oh, Lord. Currency manipulation is wild. Hey, Enu Blue. Glad you could show up. I'll be cutting the live stream in about 15 minutes because I got to get ready to go to the gym. I didn't go this morning because of obvious substances. Oh my God, wicked hangover this morning. Ugh. Wicked witch. I mean, depression can be a real bitch, man. When you get up in the middle of the night, you don't know what else to do, and there's a long hours between 2 o'clock in the morning and when you're gonna wake up. It's like you look at it and you're like, what am I gonna do? I've always wondered why people cast like a foot away from the shore. Like, it's wintertime. The fish don't like cold water. Well, the trout do. Hmm. Anyhow, observation. You think about posting elsewhere? I'm posting on, I started posting again on Rumble. Let's see. I read on a quote an old Intel developer saying he was making 100 grand doing gig work back in the 80s. Laugh out loud. 40 years later, people still think that's a lot of money. $100,000 is not a lot of money. It's not even near a lot of money. When people who are making $100,000 are shopping at Aldi, it's not a lot of money. The Ducks are looking for bread again. They said, F your depression. Are they dating? I think so, crickety cricket. I mean, if he's spending $2,000 a night to just spend time with Trump, something's going on there. There's got to be a power bottom somewhere around there. Holy cow, you're still on? Yeah, I'm waiting till 1 o'clock. So, Sage, welcome. Sorry, Internet Complaint Department. I don't feel like going home until 1 o'clock. That way I can go home, you know, be with the governor for a few minutes, get my gym clothes ready, and then be at the gym by 2 o'clock. So be at the gym right on time, right on schedule. It's funny is that I go to the gym exactly at the same time, and I have like my gym ladies who show up right at the same time too. Like I had one of the blonde girls that comes in every day. She reads her book while she's on the treadmill, right? She walked by yesterday. She gave me this huge smile. I'm like, we've seen each other at this gym for years and years and years. Also, the lady that was staring at me while I was doing hip thrusts last Saturday. Yeah, last Saturday was the last time I saw her. Saturday and Wednesday are my leg days. I haven't seen her again, and she was a regular at the gym, and I have not seen her again. So I guess making direct eye contact with women while you're doing hip thrusts is not the ideal thing. Let's see. Have you heard of temp agencies stealing money from contract workers? Has this happened to you? No, but I did see a Vice documentary on this, especially when it comes to people who don't speak English, who work for temp agencies where they do treat them really badly. I thought he asked if the Ducks are dating. No, no, he asked if Trump and Musk are dating. So Musk is staying very close to Trump. So let's see. That was my co-host Rage. He used to work cider and made very close to 6 figures. He said on the same pay, he couldn't afford the house he has today. Yeah, I believe it. My goal is 75 grand a year, so that way I make 60 a year. Yeah, I'm a little bit above that. I was hoping to make it to like 120, 140,000 a year. That's where I wanted to be. And what's funny is that there's a lot of people making a lot of YouTube money. Oh Lord, there's someone. Well, that's what you can do for money, folks. I didn't realize people use that many cans. Whoa. Hey, financial advice right here, folks. Yeah. I didn't know that collecting cans was still a thing in the year 2024. But there's if I'd say that there was a gold rush in America, It's what I'm doing right now. This is the gold rush in America. If you're going to make money, it's not going to be off an hourly job. I gave up on hourly work a long time ago because just looking at what hourly work, where it tops out, where it starts and where it tops out at for most of the proletariat jobs, you can't make a living. You can't not make a living off one of these jobs. $100,000 was good 10 years ago. 50,000 was good 20 years ago. But good morning and happy New Year's Eve from California. Hello. I don't know about Arizona, but in Atlanta, if you're making less than 200 grand a year, you're considered a low value man. I agree. There are a lot of ways in which you're just not going to be able to make it in this world. Being a low value man, I mean, there's a lot of ways to be a low value man, of course, right? But being financially a low value man, it hurts. It hurts your overall quality of life, man. And it's just so sad. Like, you guys just saw that homeless guy that came by, and he was looking, he was looking for any way that he could to make a few cents to feed himself. In San Francisco, 100 grand is considered low income. Glad I don't live there. Yeah, I was reading a story, I think in Forbes magazine, online magazine, and a guy was complaining about how he needed to make $400,000 a year to live in San Francisco because just his kid's private school was $72,000 a year for private school. Now imagine that. You spend triple the amount that a regular low-level worker in America makes just to send your kid to private elementary school. $72,000 a year. That's what 4 years of college costs at, or less than what 4 years of college costs at a state university. But do you know what that parent is doing? He's ensuring that his child gets the best possible start to life than humanly possible. All humans are low value, worthless species. Like I've said, humans are the cockroaches of planet Earth. There's too many of them and nobody wants them. Let's see. All while it's gotta extremely dangerous in San Francisco now. Even corporate Compton is slightly safer. Yeah, I have one of my coworkers said that you don't lock your doors in San Francisco for your car because you'd rather them just open the door rather than break your windows in order to get inside of your car to see what they can steal. One of my cousins are going to private school. I never had the opportunity to go to private school. My elementary school was in a really, really nice neighborhood. But the high school that I was supposed to go to, which was Mesa High, it was it was up the street, but it was much crappier. It had too many poor people going there. That's the problem. When you have too many poor people in an area, it drives everything down. Businesses, schools, overall culture, just the neighborhood just gets crappy. Having too many poor people anywhere is what ruins things. It's exactly what happened to Detroit. Detroit was one of the most amazing cities in the world until all the poor people showed up and wanted a piece of the pie, and then all the people that made it the great city that it was moved away. You know, it's what happens with places. Poor people don't want to live in rundown areas any more than anyone else does. But when the poor show up, it's lights out for that neighborhood. It's what happened to my house when I was a kid. The poor showed up in the projects, boom. Suddenly, the Bashes is a food city. It's time to get out of town. Private schools doesn't help much. I think if anything, private and elite schools, they help you establish connections at a young age because your classmates are also going to be people of means. And if this world has taught me anything, this is a world of connections. You have connections to poor people, you're going to stay poor the rest of your life. You have connections to rich people, and you need a job, rich people will hook you up. Rich people don't advertise these jobs on Indeed. They don't advertise them to anyone. They're for the exclusive club only. Let's see. India Blue says, I'm still mad that they smashed my car window cause forgot my phone. A wagey must never be caught slipping at any time. I know every once in a while I'll go into the Circle K and I'll leave my phone on the seat next to me. And I'm thinking, you know how many homeless people would love to have this brand new iPhone? Bam, they'd smash that window in a heartbeat without even thinking about it. Let's see, that manufacturing being offshore, that industry, of course, was Detroit's staple in the mid 20th century. Yeah, there's a lot of, this country's been hollowed out by the rich, is probably the best way of putting it. I used to make about 80 a year working in a private security job with the clearance used to be a real career field. Listen up, folks. Former frat star here, join a rich club. Hey, that's what the frat bros are for, man. Those are lifelong connections. Once you can get drunk with the guy for 4 years, that's a lifelong connection, man. The connections only matter if the rich kids like you. And that's true. Saludos de Mexico. Well, I don't know what to say to that. MS, I'll keep your advice in mind. If I leave my car doors open, I'll be more mindful for taking everything out. Exactly. Barry, you have to keep that in mind, is that there are people like before I got a car, in my apartment complex, we would have a serial car burglar who would go around breaking everyone's passenger window one by one in the parking lot, seeing what they could steal from inside the car. I'll tell you this, there is nothing inside of my car right now that's equivalent to the cost of repairing one window in my car. Let's see, NAFTA and the World Trade, trade acquisitions deal with China in 2000 made almost all goods paying jobs go overseas. And the tech companies, they love getting those visas, the H-1 visas for labor from India. Yep. Estado de Georgia. High or low value is determined on what you value. What good is it to be a public success but a private failure? So work to be well-rounded. That's the reason why I work out so much. It's like, who cares if you make a decent amount of money if you look like a short, fat, bald guy that doesn't take care of him and takes care of himself, and you smell bad. No matter what, no woman's going to be attracted to you, no matter how much money you make, unless it's literally putting the money down on the table, being like, okay, here's the amount of money. Now dance, baby. Let's see, the rupee is very weak, so low pay is not that bad for them. Oh no. I mean, the cost of living in India is also very, very low. So even if they're making like 11 bucks an hour, it's still enough to have a family in that country. And the cost of living is super low, like all the Asian countries. You don't need to make a lot because local people survive on $3 a day. Let's see, apparently there's a shortage of cashiers paying $24,000 a year. Yeah, the Mexican restaurant that I just went to said cashier job available, and I was like, what's it pay? $14.35. What makes me scared to move to private tech security? I heard it's still like the UN. I don't know what that means. Let's see. Artificial intelligence is going to eat tech jobs for lunch pretty soon anyway. That's what I tell people. Do not get a computer science degree in today's economy. A computer science degree is practically useless because you can tell ChatGPT to do just about anything. In fact, while I was getting my lunch in the same shopping center as the Goodwill, the Cricket store, I don't know how Cricket Wireless is still in business. I bought my Cricket phone, my first cell phone I bought from Cricket from a Circle K. Anyhow, there was a business there that was called AI Wonder. And I was like, AI Wonder, is this really? There was no one in it. Obviously, it had gone out of business. But I thought the title was, I should have taken my phone out. It's right around the corner. I might go there tomorrow and film this store because I thought it was hilarious to start a small business with the words AI in the title. I have AI so much. Whoa. Well, Jesus. I thought about buying a house in Malaysia and possibly living there as a second option. First option is Argentina. It costs 37% less to live in Washa that where I live in. I don't, having come from the third world, I wouldn't move back to the third world. Like there's certain amenities in the first world that you just don't have in the third. And when you go to a third world city, it feels third world. Let's see. Malay has to fix the inflation for Argentina. A lot of those South American companies are very unstable, very dangerous places to live. Like I'd never live in Colombia or Venezuela. I wouldn't be I wouldn't mind living in Santiago. It feels a little bit more modern, but not my first choice. Not that worried about AI and tech jobs. It can do computer programming, or with it can do all the other desk jobs as well. Yeah, it's amazing how much it can do from generating AI videos. I think it's really cool. The first time I generated a fully AI video was really nice, except the price tag was $30 for one video. So unless you're going to make that recover that fee, I'm gonna stick with my paid ChatGPT subscription for $20 a month. Chile's really good, I hear. Yeah, I met a professor from Chile a few years ago, and she seemed like she'd just been in she was in Germany for 4 years teaching, and then she was just coming back to move her family back to Santiago. Yes, if you live in Central South America, your risk of having to deal with cartels, they're more powerful than the. Yeah, it feels like sometimes like the police in third world countries are just whatchamacallit, hall monitors. The third world is third world hot, so third world anymore. Third world's not so third world anymore. Malaysia, I heard, is cheap, plus they speak English. It's better than Trinidad. Spanish also, I always wanted to see Madrid. I've always wanted to see old cities as well. All right, guys, I gotta get going. I've been live streaming for almost an hour and a half. I will be back tomorrow. Remember, I want to see everybody's fingers tomorrow. Don't play with firecrackers, because the last thing you want is 2 bloody stumps for hands in the new year. I actually saw a video about this, a guy who couldn't throw the firecracker fast enough in his hands, and boom, in a split second, both of his hands were gone. Crappy New Year, everyone. Keep those hands useful. We need them for the governor. Stay away from alcohol, drugs, and Susie Rottencrotch, especially Susie Rottencrotch. You don't want to be scratching yourself in the new year.